Hello, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Fixture, on the show this evening as a young team, GB and our Robert. Evening, boys.
Evening, Ox. Evening, GB. Hope you're both well. Welcome back, Ox.
Cheers, mate.
Evening, Robert, and welcome back to the Real Slim Shady. How we doing?
Aye, enough. How are you, Robert?
Well, I'm very good to be back on with yourself. Been a good weekend with the Bears winning comfortably, so lots to talk about tonight and look forward to tomorrow night.
Aye, it was a comfortable one. Obviously, we've digressed and chatted about it, but interesting to get your thoughts on it. Start with you, GB. But before that, how are you, GB?
Aye, Ox in Cloud 9 now, mate. It's just great to have that kind of feeling of 55 back again, running about the fans and the club and that, and even myself, let's say, you're just eager for the next game now, and that game at the weekend there against Hearts, just kind of, it was a statement of intent, Ox, for me, I think, with the team. They showed that they were right up for this title race.
Aye. And let's be honest, it was what we deserved, Robert, wasn't it? It was a good performance, lots of chances, and it was a fair result.
Absolutely, mate, and it's probably a performance that the scoreline has merited for the past few weeks, if I'm being honest. But as GB said, it was a real statement to come out to a game as the league leaders for the first time, a tough home game against Hearts, who were on form, and to kind of comfortably beat them with the scoreline that it was, and probably could have been more, says a lot about the character and the mentality of the players just now as well. So a real positive weekend.
Yeah. Right, I'll get your thoughts, GB, on the game, your highlights, etc., who you enjoyed, and then Robert, the same for you. Then we're going to hear from the gaffer, and then we'll get the phone lines open. You's all right with that, chaps?
Perfect, mate.
Absolutely.
All right, GB, use your thoughts on the game.
Well, Ox, I mean, you can't ask for much more than a 5-0 result. I think it's great that our new signings have showed that they've got quality and they've hit the ground running. That first half was just free-flowing football. I agreed with what you said last night about Lawrence. Took a wee bit of time to get in it, but again, when Lawrence put through that kind of pass for Cortez to get his goal, it's just great insight into it. And Diamandi getting another goal as well so early on just settles the nerves and helps the team. And that's what we're asking for with these signings, Ox, when they come in, just to help the team. Again, see, when you look at the full park, every player had a contribution near enough. I mean, you had Butland having to make a couple of saves. Lundstrom, again, instrumental with Silva's pass. Dessers scoring goals. John Suter creating assists. Ridvan having shots in goal. Tav having shots in goal. Just like I say, it's an all-round team performance, Ox, and great to see us making the substitutions early as well to help, again, rotate the squad and keep them all fit and healthy, mate.
Robert?
Yeah, mate, just pretty much echo what GB said. It was a real dominant performance, and as I said, it was a game that could have looked at on paper as a potential banana skin as such, but the way we had approached the game and the fast start, you couldn't ask for any more. And we've seen the St Johnstone game, a fast start to the second half, and that's the way we continued on, obviously, with the first half. And Diamandi getting his goal again, another goal outside the box. And we've said a few times in this show that we need a midfielder who is willing to have a pop at goal outside the box, and you never know if it's going to go in, and that's 2-2 now for Diamandi. So he's certainly impressed as well, and I think that's pleasing to see that Clement's addressed the situation of extra players, but more the quality, improving the first team squad, and that's exactly what he and Cortez have done. So again, just an overall performance of a strong squad, and then obviously bringing on the players off the bench. You can see the quality. It doesn't dip at any point when you make changes. It's still a high intensity, good overall performance from every one of them, and we're going to need that from now to the end of the season.
Interesting. Every one of them. We'll not go into that debate. I think we've talked about them enough on here. But I think every Bear was happy, delighted. You know, as Robert said, GB, the new guys getting the goal was good for the confidence that everybody was involved. Tav and Golson done their bit, and Tav had a great effort. And the midfield, the combination of Diamande and he gets a goal. John Lundstrom, arguably man of the match. Lawrence for the goal. Everybody's involved. There's nothing not to like. GB.
No, and that's what I'm like. Sometimes you don't really notice it, Ox, when like says you're like Beale and stuff like that. You think it's just focused around like a couple of players, but see where like Kilmarnock, he's got everybody involved. Everybody's got to contribute and help the team. It's about like he keeps saying, it's about the team. And like says, when you're starting to see like say, like says even Ridvan and Tav getting the shots and goal, and like I says, John Suter rocking up with a pure worldly pass for the Desser's goal and stuff like that. I mean, it just shows you that everybody's trying to contribute. Everybody's trying to push the right way to get us these wins in, and I says just all round. Even the, like I says, the subs, Ox, just them coming off the bench and contributing, is what we're looking for. And big, by the way, big Sterling, what a performance again. Just shows you how. I hate to say that it's probably one criticism, but he's the boys showing up a proper winger, how to play the position. You know, some of the crosses he was putting in were deadly, weren't they?
The one he put in for the fourth goal was excellent. I don't know if you heard the show last night. There was a bit of debate, but Southside was saying I don't think he thinks he's an outside right, and I don't think Kenny is day. But it's whether how. What's your thoughts on Sterling, Robert?
The boy can pretty much play anywhere you put him. We know he came here as a fullback, whether that be right or left. He wasn't going to dislodge Tav. He could have had a time at left back. I think he did play a game or two there, but then when he's been brought into the midfield, he's just sort of a completely flawless player, and I know that's not natural. And then obviously getting put out wide, it raised a few eyebrows in terms of what options you had on the bench. But again, he's just continued to kick on and take that chance that he's been given. And I just think if you play him anywhere, he'll do a shift for you. He might not be the natural choice, but he's certainly willing to give everything a go.
GB?
We're just far more dangerous on that right side, Ox. I think even when Bassey was there with Tav, we were wanting that kind of rotation where the two, one would go forward, the other one would sit back, and we hope for that to work. And hopefully with Sterling and stuff like that, this might be a position they can hold down, and the two of them can just kind of help each other, because we just look so much more balanced. No harm to McCausland and no harm to Scott Wright, but like I says, that boy against Hearts was, like I says, causing them havoc, physical wise, and like I says, the ability just to get the ball in the box and create something. I mean, that's all we're asking for. And then that left side's really tidy now, especially with Cortez and stuff like that. So, like I says, I'm really enjoying how the team are attacking. They know, especially both sides. Whereas the right side, I always feel sometimes it's always just lacking, Ox.
I don't think that's his natural position. I don't think that's the position he's going to hold. But I don't know why, Robert. I just get a feeling we're a better side when he's in it.
Yeah, I don't know why, but we just seem to be a wee bit more pressing. And I know that the press has been high overall, but when Sterling's in the middle of the park, right wide, there just seems to be an extra element to the whole squad in terms of pressure, a wee bit of aggressiveness, but in a good way, where we're kind of letting the ball high up and keeping that intense pressure on the opposition backline. And again, it throws a curveball for the opposition though when you're playing Sterling wide, because it is your not natural outright player, but it's a different dimension. He's not the silky, fast pacey winger, but he has got speed and aggression in his approach to the football, and it's a curveball for us, but it's also a curveball for the opposition, and it gets you thinking as well how we actually set up. He's not the kind of outball, but he is certainly one that's willing to drive in behind, and some of the balls, as GB said, he was putting in was real quality, and it just needed a wee bit of kind of composure from a striker in the box to get more goals from that.
All right. I'm glad you mentioned Diamande earlier on. I'm just going to give you a wee stat here. Scott Wright in the last 2 seasons has been involved in 55 games. He's been involved, started and substitute. He's got 2 goals. Diamande's got 2 goals in the week. There you go, GB.
Mate, I've tried to dance on about the Scott Wright thing, and But again, it's just he's just a filler, and he's a squad filler now. Hopefully that gets looked at in the summer. But it's Diamande again. It just shows you that the manager can pick a player. He's brought the boy in, and by the way, credit to the squad, Ox. I mean, the squad's actually helped the boy settle. He's came right into that midfield. I was expecting him maybe to take longer. Same with Cortez, but two of them seem to be quite a mainstay now for the starting places. And
I think the two of them are characters, mate. I mean, I seen the clip on our TV with Diamande with the Senegal top on, noising on up the Nigerian boys.
Aye.
Balogun and Bessel's got a hold of you, mate, but he didn't care. He was loving it.
I know, wearing it to training as well, just to add salt to the wins. It's brilliant. I know. Like I says, and he's fully confident, Socks. I mean, I seen a wee bit of what he was saying today, and like I says, he's very humble, very focused, and aye, that's it, mate. and just wants to do the best for the team. And like I says, I agree with Robert. See, having a guy that's eager to shoot from outside the box. I mean, just look how that settled and how that got Ibrox rotten. Oxford getting that early goal. I'm not saying we're going to get that all the time with the boy, but tell you, see, like I says, he'll be dangerous, especially when he gets an opportunity, because he loves that wee right corner, doesn't he? I mean, that's twice now he's tucked it away. The keeper can't get to it.
2 different feet.
I know.
You know? Next week he's going to score with the heat. Robert, isn't he?
If I was a betting man, I'd put it on. It's certainly a breath of fresh air as well. And I think, am I right in saying he didn't actually play competitive since November as well, so he's right up to speed already with the squad, which is, again, a credit to him to come in and hit the ground running, as GB says.
Right, I'll let you pick 3 players out for the weekend at Sean for you, and who was your man of the match? GB first.
Well, first ones for me, we've talked about Sterling. Then Dessers, probably. He's 2 good goals, Ox, and again, could have probably had another hat trick. He's just one of these enigmas, isn't he? But
double hat trick.
But again, I'll accept it. See if he's buying, give me 2 goals again, and he's missing a couple of sitters, then I'll take it, Ox. And then I'd probably say Lundstrom as well, Ox. Just like I say, he's just kind of running the show a wee bit in that midfield now.
All right, what about yourself, Robert?
Diamande, Lundstrom. Again, just the way Lundstrom's kept that kind of form going since Clement's come in. Diamande, just for his impact on the squad and the team overall, and obviously getting 2 goals in 2 games gives him confidence. And then I'll probably go with Yilmaz, just the form he's been on as well. And again, it was a lot of running down that left wing, and might not have got the product that he was looking for, but certainly it was causing problems in that left hand side again, and coming inside is a lot as a kind of inverted wing back.
I thought he was excellent in the first half. I think he wasn't so good the second. He was okay, but I thought his first half performance was outstanding. Yilmaz, you know. Aye, fair enough. Well, listen, I'll tell you what we'll do, if it's all right with you boys. We'll hear from the gaffer as we start building up to a massive game tomorrow night at Rugby Park. So let's hear the first part of the gaffer's interview.
Luke, how do you feel about the challenge of Kilmarnock away?
That is a difficult one, we know. So we will approach that game like all of the games with respect for the opponent, but also respect for ourselves. So to play our own game, although you need to adapt to a totally different kind of football because of the pitch. What's not easy, but we did it before in Livingston, and we need to do it again. It's only one importance, and that's getting 3 points. But it will be totally different game than we normally play.
How much emphasis do you put on looking back at the team's defeat there earlier in the season and learning, or is it a clean slate now that you're here and a lot of time has passed since then?
You mean the beginning of the season, first game that they lost? It's a totally different story. There were other ideas, other players also. A lot of things have changed, so I don't think you need to put a lot of emphasis on that. No, the guys are focused and they know they need to adapt to other circumstances. They have respect for the opponent also, about how they are doing things. They had, if I'm well informed, 6 Old Firm games until now this season, and they won 3. 1 draw and 2 losses. 1 time against us at Ibrox. That one I remember. So no, we're gonna go there full focus, but we know it's one of those dangerous moments that it can be a bump on the road.
Can I ask you about Jack Butland? There's a story this morning that he's in contention for a recall to the England squad. How pleasing is that for you to hear as his club manager?
No, I would love that he could be there, because he deserves that he's ready in that way. If he deserves enough, that's the decision of Southgate, of course. Yeah, he's been really good for the team, although he had less job to do the last couple of weeks. But he keeps the same concentration, the same seriousness. He's important in the dressing room, in the trainings, and he's gonna be very important in the next couple of weeks and months, because we have a lot of games to go and a lot of important games, and you need people with personality then.
Philippe, you said it's a different sort of challenge on that pitch. What is different about it, and what will the different challenge be?
A lot of things. I made a comparison with a game of tennis, with playing at Wimbledon or on a clay court. It's a little bit like that. Of course, it's different sports, but the ball goes faster, so you need to be more precise. On a grass pitch, when you give a pass, it slows down after a while. On artificial, it keeps its speed, or it goes even faster along the way. The ball bounces in a totally different way. If you give passes in the air or shots at goal, you cannot go with your foot underneath the ball like you normally do on a grass pitch. So you need to adapt your body towards that. Also, the way of turning, the way of sprinting, the way of stopping is also different. So that's a lot of things. That is different, but it is what it is. And in the league, there's the decision that for the moment it's still possible to play on those surfaces. I don't think in Premier League it's still possible, or in La Liga, or in the top leagues. But I hear in Scotland everybody's also convinced now it's not the best way to play football, but we're going to go there to get the 3 points. And I said it before also, before Livingston. I don't care at the end if it's on that pitch or on the parking lot that we need to play. We're going to go there to get the 3 points. That's the only important.
You often come up against teams with a low block, but Kilmarnock have shown that they play 2 up top. They did that in Celtic as well. Is that a different sort of challenge then when you face a team like that?
No, the other teams have done it also. So we know what we have to do in those circumstances. They can do it in different ways, Kilmarnock, and we will see tomorrow. But that's the good thing about being now 4 months together. We trained on a lot of things, also on things that we didn't see that much with other teams. So the team is prepared, whatever way they do it. That's important.
How's your squad?
Yeah, the squad is okay. Only thing, so no injuries or more injuries after last game. Only thing is that I cannot put Kemarouf in the selection again because of the surface. So that's a clear message from my medical staff that it's too risky. After his injury and the amount of injuries. So in that way, it's a disadvantage to play on that kind of pitch. But okay, we need to adapt again. So a chance for another player then.
You talk about this one being a dangerous fixture. Is that because of the pitch or because of the form that Kilmarnock are in, or a mixture of both?
Both. But at the end, I will see danger in every game. Because if you don't have respect for your opponents, then you become lazy, sloppy. But Kilmarnock, yeah, their track record from the last couple of months is really good. They're gonna make it a huge fight. We know how they play, and we need to be ready for that. And my players need to be ready for that, not only me.
Can you prepare for playing on a plastic pitch? Have you been training on an Astro here?
We have done that today, yes, to get a feeling also. But we didn't have a lot of time to train because it's every 3 days game, so we could only do it today.
Right, thanks for that, Fox. He's a man of great wisdom. Wisdom's the word I'll use, GB.
Yep, no, so just he knows, like I says, he's totally on top of like I says tactics and preparing the team the right way. I mean, like I says, he knows how this game's going to go tomorrow. He's no silly. Like I says, Kilmarnock are sitting there with 4 wins and 3 draws, 0 losses since the last time we played them. So, like I says, he knows that we need to be switched on tomorrow. But again, he's been careful with Ruth. He's wanting to see Ruth contribute for the up and coming games. So he's took the advice and like I said, he's leaving him out. And like I say, so I think the manager's got to get this one spot on again, Ox.
I think it's a sad indictment of the surface that people have to be, they're not allowed to play because of the surface, Robert, and Ruth's not the first. And that's where it's so wrong, eh?
It is, because, you know, history can show that a player of a decent level can get an injury on that, and it rocks them for a good while, even a season or 2, but it dents their confidence in playing that kind of surface like that again as well. And it's about time we actually get rid of these parks and go back to the grass parks. And I remember when I was a boy growing up, that Rugby Park pitch actually looked really good. It was in pretty good condition, and then they decided to get rid of it and go to the AstroTurf, which again, personally I don't like them. In the top flight, it's better than the grass, and I can understand some clubs' finances and stuff, but when it comes to players' safety and injuries and things like that, you want them to be well looked after, and that's probably why grass parks are on top for me.
I've talked about this a lot. My own personal view is that it shouldn't be the top 2 leagues. Top 2 leagues, once you expire to be there, there's a standard of pitch you should have to have. Just my own view. Right, but the way he talked about it, the preparation, you get the feeling, GB, that no stone's unturned there.
Aye, Ox, that's the thing. He's looked at like I says, he's had a close eye on Kilmarnock. He's analysed them and stuff like that. And then players are there. He said today that the players have been training on the Astro Park. They've been like, it wouldn't surprise me, Ox, that they were doing drills with just kicking the ball and watching how it landed. I mean, just so that they knew like how the ball was going to run and pass and that, even when they're in Astro Park today and stuff. So that's what I'm saying. It wouldn't have been just like 11v11 just gone out there the day. It would have been, like I says, we'd probably doing wee small drills, and I says it's the wee small details, Ox, that I love about him, that he just knows that it might just get you that extra goal, extra win, or just get that, like I says, that bit in front of the opposition. He's like I says, very, very switched on with it, and I think they tried to touch on the last time that we played away there at Kilmarnock and stuff like that, how it was. And he's like, I just batted away. He's like, no, that was a different team then. It's a different team. It's got to be turning up the morrow. So he knows how to handle the press, Ox, and he knows how to handle this game tomorrow.
Robert?
He's very methodical in what he does. And as I say, the no stone is unturned. He does his homework on the opposition in terms of individual players, the surface, and any potential factor that can be involved. And obviously that includes the pitch as well. So it is good to hear they've used the artificial surface, and as GB said, they probably are doing drills where they'll check the speed of the ball, the bounce and things, but a lot of these players have played on this pitch before, or similar pitches, so they know what they're in for. And Kilmarnock are on a bit of form as well, so they've beat us, they've took points off the ones across the road, so we know exactly what we're going to get with Kilmarnock. But the main thing is, as long as we focus on ourselves and we get in with that confidence of that 5-0 victory against Hearts, then we shouldn't be worried about the pitch or anything else.
Here. Right, we get the phone lines open, gentlemen.
Get them in.
Yeah.
Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Right, come and go. Use your thoughts as we turn on them. It's a massive game. You know, we'll get these 2 league games, and then after we get this game, the way we play in 3 different competitions in 8 days, you know, so the season's really cranking up, GB.
Aye, Ox. I think for some reason I'm more nervous with this one tomorrow than the weekend. I just felt that like I says, it was two teams that were going to play like proper football, and like I think tomorrow night, I says you can't get away from the pitch shocks. It's going to play a part in it. It's not even like I says bad player or anything like that. It's just that we might play a pass that it just might land and kick the wrong way, and that, again, it could just fall for the opposition and stuff like that. But again, just to be switched on, stick to the game plan, and like I says, I think on form, I mean, it's kind of written in stars for Dessers to be up there again, Hawks, for this kind of game, because it's a hustle and bustle kind of game, I think, for him.
Robert?
I would agree with that, and I think Dessers is probably going to start there. The only player that, I know we've not kind of touched on team selection yet, but the only player that I would maybe look at not having from the weekend is maybe your Tom Lawrence. I know you're kind of looking at protecting players for now until the end of the season, and rotation's been a big thing, but I think this kind of game, you don't want to change too much of a winning side, particularly on that high in the weekend. So that would be my kind of only thought about this rotation. It is good, obviously, with the amount of games you've got, but as you said, 3 games, 3 competitions. So rotating the squad keeps everybody fresh and on their toes and ready when called upon. But I think that tomorrow night could be a game where you maybe just see a bit more settled.
We maybe get the clue of what the team's going to be when we hear the second part of the interview. But going back to the pitch, then I get the feeling he wasn't using his excuse, Robert. He used the tennis analogy, which makes a bit of sense. It's an advantage if that's your surface.
It is, but as I said, a lot of these players have played in surfaces like Kilmarnock's or even at Kilmarnock's. So to an extent, you can say that it's a massive factor and it's an advantage for Kilmarnock. But at the same time, a lot of these players have played on it and we know what to expect. We've got the training facilities at Auchenhead, so they should be adapted by now. Maybe obviously the exception of Diamonde and Cortez, the kind of new boys, but again, the fast surface may actually suit them even more as well. Cortez with the ball at his feet can just run and the ball will just zip across. It might be an addition to his game that gives us an extra 5% of his performance, and that can only be a good thing in my eyes. So it will be a factor, but certainly use it to our strength as much as we maybe look at the negatives of the park.
Right. GB?
I mean, the park will probably play its bit, but I think looking at Kilmarnock's form, it just depends what Kilmarnock turns up, because when we've went there in previous years and stuff like that, we've had some good times at it, and then we've had some times where we've like scraped the 1-0 result and stuff like that. So I'm really hoping that we take the kind of attitude that we had at the weekend. We're top of the league, and we just go there and we get the job done early. I think, like I said, we get a couple of early goals, settles the team. Like I says, hopefully, as Ox says, we're going to be going into 3 different competitions. So hopefully, again, it's a night that we can rotate and bring people off the bench.
I think there's no doubt he'll do that anyway. I don't. The score will be irrelevant. I think he will use minimum 15 players, if not the 16. GB, I don't think there's any doubt that Philip Kilmarnock will do that.
No, and it seems to be a tactic he has as well, Ox. It's like he says, it's not about just freshening legs up. He makes decisions based on how the game's going and stuff like that. I mean, he's not scared to make substitutions at half time and stuff like that. So, I know, again, I'm interested to see how he does set up in it, whether he's quite attacking or like I says, he maybe changes like the wings and stuff like that, whether he tries to get maybe even McCausland involved to get more space down the wings and stuff like that, Ox, or does Stirling keep his place down there and keep the physical side? That's where I'm interested to see, because Kilmarnock are quite a physical side, and if you dare let them play football, Ox, they can hurt you, especially with the kind of cross balls and set pieces.
Right, I'll tell you what we'll do, gentlemen. We'll hear the second part of the Gaffer's interview, yeah?
Yeah.
Yep. Fox will play the jingle and hopefully we get some callers in. Let's hear for the Gaffer.
You've been rotating your players a lot, Philippe, and after the game on Saturday, Cyril said to you that he wants to play all the time, and you persuaded him that that's maybe not a good idea. Is there other players in the squad who have came to you and said they want to play?
Almost everybody. I think almost all of them. They want to play every game. For sure, when you're winning, they want to play all the games, all the players. If you start to lose games, then you have less players who want to play all the games. It works like that. No, I think all of them, and that's a good thing. They need to focus on what they have to do to play a lot of minutes and to do the right things for the team. And then they will get minutes, and it's my job to think who we're going to take every time and how we're going to do it as a squad. And now, in the beginning, it's always more difficult. It's not a new thing. It was the same in my other teams also, in periods like that, because it's the only way to be there on top every time in the way we want to play football with a lot of intensity. So you cannot do it with the same 12, 13 players for months, every 3 days. It's impossible. So the team understands the story now. Are they totally happy with that all the time? No. But they're totally happy all the time until now that they are in this good story now together, and they feel also that they're winning a lot of games. And they get also the enough minutes to shine, to be in the spotlight.
Do you feel that those 4 or 5 players who are coming on every week have added determination to show you that they should be playing from the start?
Yes, that's one part, but also there's a lot of togetherness in this group now. I will give one example. In my debriefing of the game, the last game, we showed several things, what we did well, what we can do better, like always, and one of the things were the goals also. So there was a really good assist of John Sutter for the goal of Cyril. One of the other center backs who didn't play was really looking at him like, I cannot use this one word, but really well done like that. And I told them also, guys, this makes my day, because there you show that you're really a team. If you're competing with each other and you can be genuine happy about somebody else doing something really good, then you're a team. And today I saw another example. I see one of the attacking players miss a chance, and the other one make a sound like the birds, that he was killing the birds. And they both were laughing with it, although they were competing for a position. And that's really strong. And that I want to keep until the end of the season, and then it's going to be a really good season if everybody keeps on doing that.
The defender sounds like Liam Balogun.
No, I don't want to say names. I don't want to say names.
How different is how different is that mood within the squad and around the club when you first came in? I know it was something that you addressed about trying to put that confidence back in the players, and it's also happened quite naturally over the last 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, it's not something you can force. You cannot give them a drink and then suddenly they have this unity and they have this feeling. It's everyday work together, also to convince them about that is the best way to feel good yourself also. And it's not about playing 60 or 65 games every time 90 minutes, because at the end, if you win trophies, 2 years later, you don't remember if you played 62 games or 47 or 33. You don't know. And people don't know also. They only remember who were the guys who won something. That is what people remember. So I hope that after this season, people will remember a lot of players, because they wrote already history by winning this League Cup, and we want more. And that's what they are working for.
How is Abdallah in terms of his return? Is he on course on the original timescales that you...
He's on course, yes, but he's not yet training with the team or whatever. We know it's a long term. So but he's on course.
Philippe, we spoke to Mohamed before you came in, and he was talking about how he's settled in and the impact he's making. Do you feel he's going to continue to grow the more games he plays?
Oh, for sure. And not only the next weeks, the next months, the next years here. So for me, what I told you guys before he came, he's a high potential player. And I don't think that Rangers will be his last step. No, I don't think so. I'm sure. Of course, you need some luck with injuries in your career, but if he stays out of that, he's going to make bigger steps because he has talent, but not only talent, but also the really right mentality to work for the team, to be very concentrated, to be very focused. And those are the things you're looking for when you go in talks with players. You always can see what they can do on the pitch or what they are doing, and you think you can improve as a gaffer. But the most important thing is how people are ambitious to evolve themselves and how they want to take in information and work around that. And he's somebody with really high focus on those things. So it's like a sponge. He will get better and better. The more information he gets, the more experience he gets, the better he will become.
Can he reach the very top?
I think so, yeah.
Thanks, guys. Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Well, welcome back. High praise indeed, Robert, for Diamandi, yeah?
Very high praise. And as a manager who's spotted a player and brought them in as your own, then it's pleasing for Clement as well. And it shows that us as supporters should have the faith and belief that when he spots a player, he's spotted a real gem, and he's at a young age that he can certainly kick on and do well for us. And if he does get a big move for himself, then for him personally, it'll be good, but also good for our club that we have been able to grow and develop a player. But we might also inherit a bit of money from that. But first and foremost, he's with us, and he's certainly made an impact in the squad just now.
Aye. Let's just enjoy him, see where it goes. And, you know, I mean, he scored 2 goals. I don't think he's been absolutely outstanding. He's been neat, tidy, done a lot of things. The 2 goals have grabbed the headlines, GB. I think there's more to come for the boy. He gets used to his teammates and he gets fitter.
I think as folk have touched on it, he's kind of like an upgrade for like Glenn Kamara, and he's
that's a compliment, yeah.
Aye, and I think look at where Glenn Kamara is now. Granted, he's playing for Leeds, but still he's trying to challenge to get into that kind of Premier League place. And I think the young boy as well, I think his career is looking to try and get to the very, very top, and he's got a manager there that's trying to push him to get there, Ox. And the thing is, if our manager gets him to that level, Ox, Premier League standard, and then I mean, think of how he's got to be contributing to Rangers at that time. You know, it's going to be a very, very pivotal player. And I think even in the kind of highlights really before he came to Rangers, when you see the goals he's been scored before, like what we've seen now is just a small part of what this boy can do.
We'll see what it takes us. The old injury front, it was a great point he made. Everybody wants to play, Robert, when we're winning, huh?
Aye, he's spot on. Every player's got a bit of confidence and they don't want to be missing out on the action. You don't want to be on the bench or stuck in the stands. You want to be playing, and I dare say there'll be less injuries, even if they try and get away with it, to say that they're fit and ready to play when maybe they're not 100%, just because they want to be part of it. And that can only be a good thing in terms of the confidence and pushing players on that maybe are in front of you to try and get that start as well. So overall, as I said earlier, the confidence is within the squad, and when you are making changes and rotating, the quality isn't dropping anymore. You don't look at the bench and kind of scratch your head and wonder who's going to make an impact. Each and every one that's come on has made an impact on the game, whether it be a goal or an assist. Players like John Lundstrom and John Suter are adding assists to their record now as well. So he's certainly had a big impact on all these players, and they certainly want to play for the manager.
Aye. Can I ask you something, GB? I just want to go back, and it was obviously mentioned about the attitude. At the start of the season, did you feel there was something wrong? We know we get bad results. We lost the 2 games at Ibrox against Aberdeen and them, and then obviously the first game of the season. Did you feel there was something wrong in the dressing room, or just there was something missing? What was your thoughts, just quickly before we move on?
I mean, the contrast, Ox, see even the training camp and stuff like that, you just seen boys coming in and just kind of waving and smiling and stuff like that. There wasn't anything like there didn't seem to be any banter going on. And see now, like you says, you've highlighted it with Leon Balogun and stuff like that, the whole Ivory Coast and Nigeria thing, like you're starting to see that come through and see the team ethic and stuff like that. And like even when they were away there recently and stuff, you can see that they've bonded better. And it's surprising. It's always been there, Ox. I think there's been the team are together, but I just don't think they had a bond like they've got now, if you know what I mean. Like they're all in it together. I think there was more individuals before. I think now we've got more a team and an understanding that everybody will get minutes as long as they can show the manager in training.
Robert, same question yourself. Did you pick it up?
Yeah, I think even Clement addressed it himself. When he came in, there wasn't many relationships on the park as well as off it, and it is night and day compared to now. The harmony, the banter, as GP says, the taking the mick out of hitting a bad shot or anything. John Shooter getting an assist, you're surprised at, and again, it's just the squad harmony, and when you're winning, you've got the confidence. You can have that laugh and joke, but also you're aware of the seriousness of where we are in the league and how big an impact it can be for the players and as much as the supporters. But at the end of the day, it is good to see them have that laugh and bond and togetherness is the word that's been used over the weekend. I'm
not want to make it about the previous regime. I'm just saying what a good job he's done so quickly. That's the point I'm trying to make, GB. Yeah, if something was wrong, whatever he's done, he's turned it around.
Aye, Ox, I think he's made them understand that they all need to work together. They all need to help each other improve as well. I think you see it in the part of the new Ox that they're not scared to shout at each other. There's no going to be any kind of fights because of that. I've seen Dessers get on to young McCausland at times and stuff like that, but there'll be an understanding there that it's only because he's wanting him to make the better pass or be switched on more. I mean, so there's no faults with that. Whereas before, I think there would maybe been that kind of way that if somebody made a bad pass, it would just be kind of a fallout after it. Whereas now it seems to be that way, that it's just trying to make everybody improve. And like, again, do you think about it, Ox? All the players have improved under Clement.
I'll cut across you, GB. We'll be joined by Brian. Evening, Brian.
Hi, mate. How are you?
Good, mate. What's on your mind?
It's just about because Europe coming up as well, with all the games getting played. Do you think it's actually going to be hard on the players now because they've got their own firm game as well? Because the title's gone so close, do you think that the players are going to feel the stress and strain on themselves?
Oh, that's a great question, mate, because the point we just made there, Robert made it, when you're winning, everybody wants to play. I think the manager will be very careful with his minutes on the pitch. Robert?
Yeah, I do think they will be quite careful with the amount of games coming up that they keep that kind of going. But the momentum is still with us. The psychological pendulum has swung, whereas we are now leading the pack and we've got others chasing us. That's a huge psychological swing. But given the impact that Clement's had on the players, personally, I think they'll handle the pressure and the stress, and I think we've shown that at the weekend with the demolition of Hearts. I think if it was a nervy game, you would maybe say they felt it, but coming into that game and then winning 5-0, it was a real statement of intent, of a marker of we're at the top and we're here to stay. And I know Europe coming into the equation is a big different ball game. But the way the momentum is just now and the confidence within the squad, and as we were talking about there, the togetherness, I don't see it stressing them too much. I think they'll handle it fairly well, and Clement will be one who addresses that as well. I think he'll have experiences of this position before, and he'll know how to handle it.
Ryan, your thoughts?
My thoughts is, I mean, only because of tomorrow night's game, as I heard you saying, because of the pitch. We know it's a different ball game. different players playing different sort of pitches. And you know yourself, with AstroTurf is a hard pitch to play in sometimes, or more times if you don't play in it. Then you go into that to Motherwell on Saturday. That's fine, but then we've got a European game away, and I find it hard for players because they've got that to come back to again. All for them games and stuff like that. Up, the points are so close, and we know that they are just close to us enough to make things happen because we've got European games. That's what I'm saying. The players are working their backsides off, and it could be a stress on them as well to go into all for them games, which could be the point deciders.
Yeah, potentially. Well, we've got a few games coming up in different competitions quite rapidly. I think after tomorrow night, I think we'll get a maximum of 20 games left, GB. Maximum.
Mm-hmm.
Which is crazy, Ox, considering the kind of season we've had as well. You mean you would never have thought that. But no, I mean I agree with you both. I think it's a hard one with the squad in the sense that they've worked so hard to get into this position in the league that you kind of want to bubble wrap it, don't you? You don't want anything to affect it. You want to keep the pressure on across the city and stuff like that. But I think football's a short career. I think a lot of these guys will be wanting to make a mark in their football career as much as they can, and they'll embrace it. I think we've got a manager there that will help them embrace it. And all these competitions are there to be won. And why no? Like I says, if you've got a manager that gives you a belief to go out and win a game of football, then like I says, the team can go as far as they want to go. You've got to play the best to be the best. So like I says, tomorrow night, it starts tomorrow, but once we go into these other competitions, they're there to be won.
Yeah, and Benfica are top of the league, and they're a very, very hard team. I'm not saying hard to beat. I'm just saying very hard team, which physically gives Rangers a big, harder challenge to go back from a European thing and sit there and then come back to the league again to try and keep these points up.
Well, after we go to Benfica, we come back and we play in the Scottish Cup, Brian.
Yeah, exactly.
In the Scottish Cup,
Yes. Again, another hard game. It's not an easy game. It's not an easy league fixture that we've got.
No, we're not coming home and we're not playing in Livingston at Ibrox. I get your point, but I don't think the players would have it anywhere other way, Robert. I think that's what the players would want.
Aye, the way they're going just now, Ox, you certainly want the games to come round thick and fast just to keep that going. You don't want to be sitting waiting a week or two. And I know as for players and the manager will touch on it, it's every 2 or 3 days that we've got a game, but sometimes that's exactly what you want. And it is going to be a pivotal point of the season between now and, as you say, maximum 20 games, and it doesn't seem a lot, but there's big, massive prizes at the end of this for each and every competition. And as you say, the players will want it because it's the big stage of Europe, the bread and butter of the league, but the Scottish Cup as well, which we've won previously, and recently, that we want to get our hands on again. So certainly prizes there that I think every player in that dressing room just now is wanting to be involved in. And
then the Old Firm game. I think that's probably the hardest thing we're going to have because of what games we've got up beforehand.
Well, it depends how Europe goes. Obviously Europe can influence.
Yes, exactly.
If we get through, and I get your point, Brian. What do you people want? But when the game starts next Thursday, we'll want us to get through, won't we?
Oh, 100%, man.
Aye. It's and then obviously we'll have more games to play before we play them. But there's an international break coming up as well, and there'll be a chance to refresh. But it starts tomorrow night. What's your take on tomorrow night? Do you fancy us?
My take tomorrow night is 100% Rangers, because the way we played, I couldn't believe the score. I could not believe that score on Saturday. That was just unbelievable. I didn't expect that. With Hearts being the position they are in the league, I did not expect that. And that was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Yes, I will give Rangers But again, just because of the pitch circumstances and just certain things with players, and it all depends who he plays and what he wants to keep back for Saturday as well. We've got Motherwell on Saturday, and it's not. I'm not saying Motherwell's easy. So every game's hard, and now we need to make the points up to keep the points alive. Keep them going. So
once we win tomorrow night, and then we'll win again. We'll win again on Saturday at home at Ibrox, and then you're moving into the other competitions. Is the point that Robert can come in with us? Are you thinking that Europe's a distraction, Brian, or is it something you're planning?
No, never a distraction. I know what Rangers can do in Europe, and that's where my biggest point comes. It's always Rangers for the past 2 years. We've done it. We're there. We've always been above, but it's because of the point system just now. What I don't know what Clermont wants. I don't know if he knows what it means to the Scottish supporter of the league. I don't know if he knows Europe is good. Yes, 100%. We're there 100% with that. But it's always that league, that wee bit, that edge we've got, and especially now because it's so tight. It's just a big thrill game, but I find it harder because players that know Rangers, it's just a wee bit. I'm for them. If the other team keep up there, it's going to be right in the wire, and that's a hard thing.
Well, if we win tomorrow night, the league games are coming up on Motherwell at Ibrox, and then we don't play again for 2 weeks with the Wayne Day. And I'll be honest with you, after tomorrow night, the next 2 league games, I fancy 6 out of 6, and then the games are running out. Robert, what's your thoughts on Europe being a distraction, or would you have it any other way?
No, absolutely not, mate. Europe I know we'll say that Europe's a bonus every year, but when you get to this stage of competition, it's the last 16. We're there on merit, and our performances deserve to be there. And as GB said earlier, to be the best, you've got to play the best. And although it will be a tough game against Benfica, but we've shown in a few years gone past that we can stand up against them. And that was under a Steven Gerrard side, not a Philip Clement side. So I'm interested to see how we approach Europe under Clement. But just the way he handles everything that's came at him so far, 1 loss in 26 tells me that he knows exactly how to manage these players, the expectations and the fixture pile up. He'll thrive off it, and I think the players are going to thrive off it as well. You're starting to see that they're getting the confidence. I think St Johnstone showed me that on the front of the cameras. I know they'll feel it on the inside the dressing room and things, but in front of the cameras I saw a real sense of players believing again. And if you look at Clement's reactions on the side, even the League Cup win, the reaction against Hearts, he's certainly starting to feel like you can see he understands what it means to us, and he's called on the support from day one. We've backed him. He's praised us to night and day. So I think he knows exactly what it means to us, and that again can only be a good thing in terms of these games. But he does say he wants to win the lot, and he'll certainly give it a go.
GB.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. It's just because I understand that Benfica are a different team as well. And yes, I do get that. We've been Benfica before. We've been there. We've wrote the book. We've went to finals so many times now. It's just that wee edge. But I think just now, because of the league, because of how close it is, I think it's just a bit much to ask for our team, although they are the best. But not even the best yet. There's still new players that come in, DeMonte and stuff like that. They're still to show what they can do.
GB, Europe's not for everybody, is it?
No, certainly no. But I think that Europe's definitely for us, Ox, in the sense that like Diamande and Cortez and all, they're not turning up to Ibrox because they want a taste of European football. Sterling's even mentioned that he's wanting involved in that, and to be fair, we're enjoying the team on the partner now, probably because of our European exploits. We've been able to put ourselves back in the map. We've been able to generate money for it. And if we want to see better quality continually as the years go on, we've got to do well in these competitions. So I mean, Benfica, the game itself, I think as long as we go out and give a good account of ourselves, then we'll see where it takes us. But I think these players will want to show their talents because, like I say, I think even as much as we love them being at Rangers, a lot of them will want to try and get to that next level. I mean, there's got to be another level for some of these players, and the only way they're going to really show it properly, I think, is in Europe. So you might see them go out there and maybe turn a few heads.
It'll be interesting.
Brian, I love that. I would love that. I mean, as I've seen in Rangers past, players that have just not been in the Scottish League, which I'm not saying is not the best in the world, but it is good. It's good enough for players to come here, but then they turn their heads on and they completely turn their wide roundabout and they play in Europe. And they're like, why? Why not do that every week? Because they're playing against different players, different skill in Scotland. Do you agree with that?
There's some of the setups and there's some of the negativity in the football just to defend. It's not an open game of football, and that's what we picked up on Saturday with Hearts. Hearts came to try and win the game and get beat 5-0. Usually,
I just still can't believe that.
We're watching everybody behind the ball, Robert.
It's the usual way, mate. In Scottish football, it's the 11 players behind the ball, and if they get a goal, then it's even deeper, 11 men behind the ball. But Europe is a different ball game when we go, because players and teams attack, and that's when it becomes open. And as we've shown in the past, we can stand up and be counted and get a result that may shock a few, but certainly at times performances have deserved it. And as I said, that was under different regimes. This is a Philip Clement side now who has a style, has an identity, and against any European team, starting obviously with Benfica, he'll go and make his mark on that, and hopefully when the time comes, it is a successful 2-rounder fixtures that we play and progress into Europe.
And the money's good. GB, the whole country will be right behind us for the coefficient.
Oh, aye, definitely. There's a big windfall there if we keep that coefficient up, Box. That's the thing. If it doesn't, then it goes elsewhere, doesn't it?
Well, guys, thank you very much. Because honestly, I listen to you guys all the time, and you make me happy sometimes. I'm just still worried about this shanking thing. I'm not getting in that, so.
No, for me, mate. I think that ship sailed. Yeah.
Well, missing that on Saturday. When would you ever miss that goal?
But the one that hit the post.
Aye. When would you ever miss it?
It was unlucky. It was a good effort, but it was 5-0 at the time. Yeah.
So you think he's still going to go in the summer to Rangers?
You never know, mate. But my views are simple. If the manager wants him and he signs for us, I'll be right behind them. Until that far, he's a Hearts player. I've never known so many Rangers players to be in love with somebody that plays for the opposition. But there you go. Yeah, but that's what it is.
And Butland as well. Butland to get called up for England, but he says, I heard him tonight saying he's not really bothered. So that's brilliant.
Butland's been superb. Listen, Brian, we're close to the tune. Great to hear from you again, mate. Yeah.
Thank you very, very much, guys. You take it easy and go on the Rangers for tomorrow night. With the people.
Here. Cheers, bro.
All right, mate, guys. Brilliant, thanks.
Good to hear from Brian, Robert.
I made some good points there, mate. Obviously, Europe is a big talking point that's coming up, but we've got league business first and foremost.
Aye, these 2 league games, mate. Then we part the league for 3 games. GB, yeah.
I know, we'll be itching, Ox, as much as we've got the other competitions, we'll be eager for it to come back running and continue the march, mate, to secure this title.
Aye, have you still got your shoot ladder with all the wee tabs and you move the leagues up and down? Do you still do that, GB, no?
Aye, and the sticker book. I've got the stickers, you know what I mean? Get my shinies in there as well.
Yeah, look at the Rangers sitting at the top of the league. Right. We've reached that time of the evening. We're going to have a tune. All right with you folks?
Brilliant, mate. Let's go for it.
Right, let's have a tune.
loyal Ulster man. They say this day the time must hang, 'cause I fought the IRA, and they say the time must be, but they say this day that I must hang. So build my gallows, build them high, that I might see before I die the Antrim land and the hills of County Down, and I'll see again the light of home. Well, I am a loyal Ulster man. They say this day that I must hang. I fought those evil men, and I do it all again. They say this day that I must hang. So build my gallows, build them high, that I might see before I die the Antrim land and the hills of County Down, and I'll see again the light of home. I am a loyal Ulster man. They say this day that I must hang. Well, I fought that evil band, and I freed my native land. They say this day that I must hang. So build my gallows, build them high, that I might see before I die the Antrim land, the hills of County Down, and I'll see again the light of home. The Antrim lands, the hills of County Down, and I'll see again the light of home.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Right, gentlemen, as we build up in tomorrow night, what's the thing with they agreeing? Butland will be in goal. Do we all agree on that?
Aye.
Aye. Yeah. Overall, player of the season, Jack Butland, Robert, at the moment.
At the moment, yep.
Aye, he's definitely not what he's doing knocks into. He's been a right steady player for us right from the beginning. And by the way, probably the saves that he's made before pre-Kilmarnock maybe kept us in this title race. So aye.
Maybe. He seems to have got the bug, and he seems like a smashing bloke. Not like myself, GB.
Aye, he's got the style and charisma, I suppose.
Oh, aye. That's about 5. Absolutely nothing like me.
And cardboard cutouts for Linda, you can't beat that.
And he's playing in goal for the Rangers, Robert. Not a bad lifer.
No, certainly not, mate. And we know he could have moved on in the window there. But I seen an interview where he shot it down right away and the agent went. Sorry, mate.
He chased him, didn't he? Was he interested?
Aye, shut him down right away. Even his agent agreed as well. He said there's a lot more here to do, and he's a big part of that going forward. As GB said, there's a lot of saves in big games where he's maybe kept us in a game or got us a point in Europe or anything like that, and it's where we are now. So a big part to play, even though he maybe not be involved a lot of the time.
Aye, man. He'd been ready to go to strip dirty in the last 20 minutes of the weekend there.
I know, Ox, I was going to say that, but it was good though he was still switched on, because there was a wee kind of couple of wee hairy moments, but again, that save, I think near the end with the guy that replaced Shankland, I think that says it was going in and Butland put it past the post. So it's one of the ones I think he's switched on to how it's going to be at Rangers, and I think the manager said in his interview that obviously he's had a wee rest for a couple of weeks, but he's got to be needed in the weeks coming. And I think what he's meaning is that come Europe, he's got to be a lot busier.
Aye. Right, so we agree that he'll start. Right back, James Henry. Robert?
Yep. Nobody else.
Yep. GB?
Aye, definitely. Got to be.
And then I think Connor Golston, we all in agreement with that?
Yep.
Right, now it starts getting interesting, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right, okay, so we've got potentially, you've got 3 people who can play there. You've got Suter, Ben Davis, I think he's back fit, Ben, but he's not been in the squad, and Leon Balogun. What's your thinking tomorrow night, Robert?
As much as I wouldn't change a winning side because of the pitch, I'd maybe rest Suter and bring in Balogun.
What's your rationale, if you don't mind me asking?
Again, just the pitch, mate. Suter's done absolutely nothing wrong in terms of performance-wise. And I know it would be hard to drop him, but just the pitch, and as I said, there's a lot of games coming up that Suter could be the number 1 choice at that position for these big games coming up, and I think it could be a game where you could just afford to drop him and bring in get Balogun's quality. As I said, I'm not losing anything either, and Balogun and Golston know how to strike up a partnership as well. So just again, the pitch maybe plays a factor in that choice, mate.
Are you thinking that Balogun's better suited to that surface than Suter? Is that what you're thinking?
Over the piece, yes.
All right, fair enough. Right. Yeah. GB?
I agree with Robert. I think it's just because Balogun's got to be more suited to the surface, Ox. It's got to be that kind of way that Balogun will be driving out with the ball and trying to keep the ball on the deck as much as possible. Passing game, set pieces might be very important as well, with Balogun being up there in the box. So I think it's Balogun will get the nod tomorrow, Ox.
Interesting. Okay.
Your thoughts, Ox? Your thoughts on it?
I wouldn't touch it.
You go with Suter again, aye?
I'll go with Suter again, aye.
Aye, okay.
But I recognise that with a manager and rotation, you don't know what you're going to get, yeah, but personally I wouldn't touch it. Yeah.
I know, it's one of the ones that you don't want, you want to just keep that momentum for Saturday, don't you?
Aye. Right, left back, I thought it was outstanding. Redvan and obviously Borna, and obviously Dejon Sterling can play there also. He's not moved his position for a week or so. So, what are you thinking, GB?
I think he'll stick with Redvan, just because again it'll be on the deck and try to slip in passes. Borna doesn't really seem to do that kind of game. Borna's more a guy that'll drive down the wing and whip it in and stuff like that. I think it's got to be more possession based, and I think he'll go with Redvan.
All right. Their guy plays in the right. Armstrong's one of their main men. What are you thinking, Robert?
Yilmaz for me, mate. Again, on the point you said there, Armstrong, I think he's get the most assists in the league this season as well, if not outside off for him anyway. So he's probably their outball, and I think Yilmaz's pace could, as much as defensive work, kind of prevent him from going attacking. But the way Yilmaz has been playing, I think Clermont's style just suits him coming into that almost, as I said earlier, inverted fullback centre midfield role that it sees a lot more of the pitch, and he's getting a shots away goals, getting assists. So just keep Ridvan in there.
Okay. Are we taking it John Lundstrom's a given?
Yep.
Yeah, yep.
Okay. So if we're playing a 4-2-3-1, which seems to be the preferred formation, who's in beside him? Who have you got in beside him?
I would go with Diamande again.
Diamande. Okay. Robert?
Diamande for me as well.
Right. Do you think that Diamande will be... Do you think these fitness levels, do you think they'll be happy, the sports scientists, for him to play 3 games in a week? If he's going to play the weekend.
I think I'd rather start him, and then if GB says if you get the goals, and it's one you could maybe take off as the game goes on, or drop Sterling back into that position if he's starting elsewhere in the park. You could drop him in there.
Mm-hmm. All right, interesting. Right, so you will get the same as the weekend, right in front of them, the 3 in front, left. Robert?
Left, Cortez.
Aye,
GB?
agree. Aye, Cortez again, yep.
Right?
McCausland.
Sterling.
Oh. Right, Rational, Robert, then GB.
Again, I said it the other night, I don't think you could leave Sterling out just now based on form. I know you could drop him into that position where I've put Diamande, but again, I just think the way we've been playing, I wouldn't want to change too much getting into this game and try and stay as much as the team as possible from Saturday on a high, keep these relationships going. And again, it's just a different dynamic with him on the right.
GB.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed if Sterling gets a nod, but I think McCausland will come back in just purely to try and stretch the game a bit, Ox. I think they'll put him out in the wing and they'll just try and spray the ball into him, and it'll be again pace into the box, try and make Kilmarnock make a mistake, you know what I mean, or McCausland to try and feed Dessers possibly. I just think it's going to be a kind of fast-paced game, especially the first 60 minutes. And then maybe even like a Sterling change-up, but I would go with a young McCausland just to try and, like I says, hurt them early doors.
Mm-hmm. So you've gave away who your number 9 is. That was bad, wasn't it? See the way you done that there?
Slipped it in.
That was a schoolboy header, Robert, wasn't it?
It was, aye.
Aye, terrible. So who are you playing between them, if you like the number 10 role? Robert?
Silva.
Oh, controversial. GB?
I think we'll to go with Silva as well, just purely because I think Lawrence is the one we don't want to get injured. I think he's another one like Ruth. I think we need to kind of protect him in this game.
In the pitch. So we're not playing him because of the pitch. Is that what you're saying?
Ox, I think that's it. I think he's another one in bubble wrap now because he had a fantastic game in the weekend. Don't get me wrong, the manager took him off early doors, so maybe he's getting rested so that he's ready to go. I can't see it. I think it will be Silva, just purely because of how he finished the game on Saturday.
I think Tom Lawrence starts a day. So, right, okay. Up top, you said Desters, you gave that one away. Yeah?
Yeah.
What are you going for, Robert?
Surprisingly or not, Dessers.
Right, okay. I bet you never thought you'd be saying that back in September time, eh?
No. And we probably never thought we would say John Lundstrom was a given either. So it just shows you how much an impact in a few short months that Clement's had on certain individuals in particular.
At that time, September, the debate about Sterling, Ridvan, Lundstrom, Dessers, things have changed, GB. Eh?
Oh, massively. Ox, if this season's taught me anything as a Rangers fan, and is to have a bit of patience, you know what I mean? And ultimately we've changed the manager, and it's the manager that's improved these players, but it just shows you. Even Cantwell was getting it as well, saying, "Oh, Cantwell's career's finished at Rangers and stuff like that. It doesn't look as though he's interested, or in the relationship with the new manager doesn't look as though it's working out and all that." And then bang, there you go. It all comes to form. And Lawrence, we didn't think we'd see him again. Didn't think we'd see Roof again this season. But again, the managers managed to get him back. It's just night and day, Ox. And again, a team that's hungry to be a part of this story, as the manager keeps saying it.
Aye, they players, and then you think also, Robert, that when everybody's naming the team, I mean, in September time, everybody was saying if Raskin's fit, he'd be in the team. Ain't the case now, is it?
No, certainly not. And he personally has got a big challenge to get back into that squad. And I think the only thing that lets him down, Ox, is his distribution. We know we've said a few times he's quite slack with his passing. That's probably the only thing that lets him down as an overall midfielder. But certainly the way that Lundstrom's been playing and Diamondi's come in, Sterling can do a job there. He's looking in, trying to figure out where he fits into that squad now, and he has got a massive challenge on his hands to get back in. I know he's had injuries and the wee setbacks, but when you're winning games, it's harder to get into that winning side as much as you want to be playing.
Aye, it changes quickly, football, GB.
Aye, the asking one's a funny one, because I had done probably like as one of the players that was going to vastly improve under Kilmarnock. And granted, as Robert says, he's had these injuries and stuff like that, and he's still trying to work his way back and that. I think even at the weekend there, he's still seen that kind of slack passing for him. There was a couple of passes that went astray, and he can't really be doing that. And know the way the team's been playing in that midfield. But like I says, again, I've learned to have patience with players this season. So Raskin will get my time, and like I says, you never know. Like I says, in time maybe Clement will develop him, but when you start bringing in more midfielders, Ox, it tells me he's doing the pecking order.
Mm-hmm. Aye. I mean, he's young. He's a young man, and sometimes you just need a bit of fortune. See what it takes us. I think he's still got potential. I agree with Robert. I think his distribution's poor. I thought that since the minute we've seen him. He's great at reading the game, breaking it up. He can run with the ball. He's everything he's got, but his passing side of the game needs to improve. Right, come and join us. 0141 356 1972. Give us your team for the morning night. How do you think you go? Are you worried about the surface? Or are you worried about Kilmarnock, a team that are about 40 points behind us or something? Yeah, I think that's right, isn't it? I'm saying that. They're not quite far behind us, but they're not far away from it, are they?
It's recent form, Mox. I think it kind of is more a bit of a concern, like I says, with them having, like I says, they 4 wins and 3 draws. They've not had a loss, so it tells you they're a harder team to break down. So we're going to need all our quality more, I think.
They're 37 points behind us. I'm talking about after tomorrow night, Robert. They'll be 40 points behind us.
30 tomorrow night, mate. That was a typo. 30 points to be. That was a typo. They're 27 just now, so it'll be 30 by tomorrow night.
30, aye. Sorry.
Aye, that's all right.
No, it wasn't a typo. Just my arithmetic was rubbish, mate.
Who's up front for you tomorrow night, Ox? Dessers or Silva?
Dessers.
You must be surprised with his turnaround, Ox. Because
I don't think anything's changed in his ability. I mean, you seen it on Saturday. I know he was offside, but he still never managed to put that goal in with a header, put about 4 yards out, and then he makes that sublime one-touch goal for the Suter pass. He's an enigma, the guy. But he's in form, so that's how I would start him. I think it's 7 goals in 8 games or something like that, Robert. So that's how I would start him.
No, absolutely. He is in form, and you take away the goals he's scored. If you take him out the team, then you start to look at where the goals come from in other positions, and that's when you want your players who's Silva likely to replace him if he is up front, and then the 3 behind him to start chipping in as well. But obviously at the weekend we've seen that the goals can be shut out. It's just about other players getting involved in the game in the final third.
Aye. It's going to be interesting to see what the team is. It'll be interesting to hear some of the punters' thoughts. And, as I said, 0141356 1972. Your thoughts, your fears, your hopes for tomorrow night as we move after tomorrow night into 10 games. It's squeaky bum time, GB.
Isn't it? It's that race to the Linux, isn't it? Like you get here, what it says, that the nerves of one game and then you're straight into another one. I just hope we just go out and show that same mentality, Ox, is in Saturday, that we're top of the table, we're the team that's driving to win this. And we go out and we stamp our 40 early doors. I think that's the main thing. Is I think if we're a far better team than Kilmarnock, we've got far better players, and if we just play our game and show our quality early doors, I think we'll take care of Kilmarnock, no bother. But we've just got to be switched on at the back, Ox. This kind of boy, the tap's going to be one of the ones that they'll be eager to do to us.
Wow, 4 goals away from home all season. There's no reason to think the defence will not be switched on, Robert.
No, certainly not. But on the flip side as well, you've got a Kilmarnock side who I think have only lost twice at home this season as well. So they'll be confident in their side. But again, the focus is firmly on us, and we know we've got.
Is that telling you that pitch is a big benefit? Is that what it's telling you?
Tells me it suits them to their game plan. But again, the focus is on us to find a way around that. And I think when you said earlier on, there'll be a lot more possession. I don't think there'll be many long balls to Dessers or anything. I think it'll be intricate passing on the ground, using the surface to be fast paced, which we know we can do, and kind of get in behind the lines for Kilmarnock and get the goals.
Aye, when you put it like that, maybe Silver might play.
That was my rationale for putting him in the 10, mate, because he likes to drop deep. Even if he has the 9, he comes into that kind of central area. And without Cantwell or Lawrence in that squad, it's probably Silva who's a bit more creative in that area. So that's why I put him in there, just because that's a quality he can bring.
Why do you think Lawrence will be in the squad?
One, the pitch, but 2, if Cantwell was, say, had a knock and was just missing a game or 2, then I think Lawrence would start. But because he's probably the first choice now that Cantwell's out for a while, I think he'll want to protect Lawrence for other games. And again, this surface could play an impact on how Tom Lawrence is used.
I get that, but it's a big game, GB.
Aye, Ox, I know, but it's just that it's the ankle into it with Lawrence. I know that they're saying he's fit and available and stuff like that, but it all seems to be a thing that if niggled, it seems to break down. And I hope it is behind him, Mox, but I think we need him for more games. I think that there's more important games we're going to need him for. As much as this is massive tomorrow night to keep the run going and the momentum and that, I think we've got enough players in that squad to cover his position tomorrow night. And if we get Silver in there, he's a young, fast-paced boy, and that's what I think tomorrow night. Ox, I think that's what's going to help us win the game. I think it's just got to be pace and power, because that's what Kilmarnock try and do. They try and run with Armstrong and stuff like that, and try and hit you in the break and stuff. I think that's what we've got to do. I think we've just got to young Cortez, and if it's McCausland, Silva, and Dessers. I mean, see when you're riding that half, Ox, that should blow Kilmarnock away.
Aye, it should. It should, but you've got to go there with the right attitude, Robert. Yeah.
Attitude and application, mate. The old cliche. You turn up with the attitude, you have to put the application towards the game, you'll walk away with 3 points. It's as simple as that, but we know football is never as simple as it sounds.
No, it's a. What do you think the interpretation comes to? Is it just the pitch? Is that when everybody's nervousness comes to? If that makes sense, Robert.
I think it's a factor, but I think it's also the way, maybe credit to Kilmarnock, the way they've been this season, and we know that they've took points from us and they've took points after them across the road. We know they're quite resolute in the way they set up. It seems to be a 3-5-2 or a 5-3-2 with a kind of wing backs. They don't change the way they play, and again, the pitch will suit their play style. So I think it is a factor. but I think it's also credit to the way Kilmarnock have been doing. And again, it's never been an easy place to go for Rugby Park. We've known in times where you've had to rely on a last-minute goal. But these are the games that you look back on that may win you a title.
GB.
Do you know, it's not actually about Kilmarnock or the pitch for me. It's just that we've actually got ourselves back into a position where we're top of the league, and we've got the kind of 2 points as well. It's just one of the games that you just want to get out the road.
Being on top, GB? Would you rather play that?
Well, I'm partial to both, I suppose. But for the Glasgow Rangers, I do prefer us to be on top and like I says, dominating. And like I says, I think it's going to be. I think it's just because you don't want to lose this position. It's because, like you says, the games are ticking down now, and I think it's got to be more important that you hold your position than have, as Clement says, have these kind of bumps in the road. I don't think there's got to be much room for manoeuvre with points dropped or anything like that in these next 10 games, Ox. I think we've got to be really close.
Your nervousness is coming because we're in front.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on top.
Aye. I think when we're chasing in that...
He's got to enjoy it, Robert, hasn't he? Come on, embrace it.
Aye. You've got to. It's been a long time since we've been there, and I can understand as I said, the pendulum swings in terms of the psychological factor. But at the same time, you're top. That's where you want to be. And it's not how you start a season; it's how you finish. And if we finish the way we're going now, we're going to walk away with a league title and who knows what else in the bag. So certainly enjoy it, and it's going to last.
Turn that frown upside down, GB. Come on.
As always, I think it's just because, again, Clement's turned this team round and they were looking dead and buried. And I just worry sometimes they have this kind of brain fart in them. You know what I mean? It's just one of the ones, Ox. I just hope tomorrow night they just go and show what they showed me on Saturday. Because Saturday gave me a lot of confidence. Like I says, they went in there and they showed who's boss. And again, that's all they need to do tomorrow night, Ox. Go in there and show who's number one. And I think if I get this game at the road tomorrow night, I think I'll be more comfortable as the games are coming up.
All right, okay. All right. Listen, I get your trepidation for tomorrow night because we've not got a great record there. Bizarrely, Robert,
No. And again, is that the pitch? Is that the players? Is it a mentality thing? Is it a confidence? That the way we play now, I don't see any of it being an issue. Obviously, we've spoken about the pitch being a factor, but the way we played under Clement, one defeat in the 26, the performances, the players playing for each other, I don't see any issues tomorrow night, to be honest, as much as it's sounding as if we're a bit nervous.
We don't sound nervous. GB does.
I know. You've got it sewn up already. But Ox, do you think what I says Kilmarnock will change their game? Do you think they'll go back to like the part of the bus, or do you think they'll actually want to come and have a go?
I don't think so. I think they're well drilled. It's 3-5-2, 5-3-2, and that's the way they play. The wing backs have got a job to work hard and they get the ball forward. And they've got a style of play that, and particularly in that pitch, you use it to their advantage. They try and get cross balls in early, and they're well drilled and well organised. Well done to Dennis McInnes, but I think when you look at the results, home and away, that you can't help but be drawn that the pitch is an advantage when you're playing all the time. You know, I don't think. What about you, Robert?
No, I don't see them changing. As you said, mate, they play that 5-3-2, 3-5-2, and they'll focus their attacks probably down the both flanks. They've got Armstrong on the one side and Kennedy on the other side, so that's where their focus will be. And the way our fullbacks tuck in now, they'll see that as an area that could exploit. But again, Clement seems to have done his homework in knowing where the danger's going to be and how to prevent their attacks, and we'll adjust to suit our strengths. And you might see a bit more reserved Yilmaz and Tavernier maybe tucking in and being a bit more kind of wide from the defence rather than tucking in to handle their pressure from the wide areas. But again, it's all down to what we do on and off the ball, and the main thing is it's 3 points at the end of the night, and it can be a 1-0 Bridgeman from now to the end of the season.
Without a doubt. Right, we're moving on to the last half an hour of the show. Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, aye. All valid. Some of your, I get your, I don't know if concern's too strong a word. I get your intrepidation, GB, because of our record, because of the surface. They're on decent form. Yeah, they've had decent results. They beat us there at the start of the season. But come on, what about their form?
Aye, well, the Ox again. That's it. The Saturday, has given me more confidence going into this game, considering the attitude that we showed. I was thinking maybe Saturday would be maybe a 2-1 and would just move on to the next game or something like that. But going out and blowing away Hearts, I mean, they were in better form than Kilmarnock, and they just couldn't handle us, Ox. And I think, I know that the pitch has got to play a part at the more night, but I just hope we turn up with the same attitude and start the game fast. Take it to Kilmarnock, because Kilmarnock seem to be a team as well that if you do kind of blow them away early doors, that they don't really come back at you. It's when you let them in or you allow them to start playing their game, that's when it becomes a heavy game. And even in previous games where I was like, again, Golson starts to kind of daydream a bit and stuff like that, and set pieces they're really good at and stuff. So, and let's face it, Ox, they've made kind of some decent signings for season pros. I mean, Van Veen as well knows how to score a goal and stuff like that. So, just these type of players, all they need is one chance a lot of the time. And I just, hope we stand up to it.
Robert?
I think had it have been a 2-1 victory against Hearts, I can understand a wee bit more nerves about tomorrow night, but coming off of that 5-0 winner, the confidence should be oozing from us all. And I get on GB's kind of nerves, I'll say, because it is so tight at the top, and one slip up it is kind of position swapped again. But the way we've been on, win loss in 26, I keep repeating it, that's a form of champions. Let's be fair, it's a form of champions. So as long as we keep, as you say, the attitude and the application, as long as we go and do that, then it's 3 points for me. And as I said, it can be a scrappy 1-0 or an emphatic 4-0, 5-0. I'll take them all day.
Aye, as that kind of night, it's all about the 3 points and back down the road. I get that, Robert. You know, what about the manager saying we trained on the artificial? Again, he mentioned that earlier on. So he does all the right things. He does everything that we're looking for. But the guy that's organising our first team today, Robert.
Aye, we keep saying it, Ox. It's a proper professional, experienced manager. It's not a coach we've got in charge anymore, and it's credit to him and his backroom staff. You know, whatever they're doing in the background, the coaching on the training park, the scientists, the fitness, everything, it's all coming together. And of course, Clement gets the credit for it as a manager, being the front and foremost. But the players as well deserve massive credit, because they've listened and took on everything that he said since day one, and we've got an instant impact. And I don't think any of us, as you said, sitting a few months ago, could imagine the position we're in now. A League Cup in the bag, top of the league, last 16 in Europe. At one point, all of that was gone. It was lost. The season was written off. So credit to everyone involved, and that's why everything just ticks the box for Clement and knows what he's doing. It's the experience and professionalism of the manager.
Aye, that's fair. GB, question for you. just quickly changing the subject, see if I can get you turned that further upside down. Robert mentioned the last 16 in Europe. Do you think we've had the credit for that result in bets?
Oh God, no! That's been swept under the carpet a wee bit, like another team. But it's a mentality. Let's say your league. You think, let's say, you want to showcase it more and put it in the headlines, Ox. And no, with again, it's creeped round into it. Folk have kind of forgot about it. Even the press have kind of weren't really interested in it until the draw was getting run again. And but it's for us. It's our tournament in a sense to make all the money and progress our players, and like I says, we can entice players in Oxford as well. You mean, like I says, I think when we've went for these 2 new signings as well, I think it's been a big thing. We turn around and say, well, we usually get to the last 16 in the Europa League most seasons, so no, we never do really get the credit. It's been us that's holding it up for the last 4 years, Ox. Is that right? Since Gerrard at least came in.
About 6 years now, mate.
Aye. So it just shows you the guys that's in charge of the top of our league and stuff like that. I'm very surprised they don't come out and try and even jump on it and try and promote it more, even as much as we don't want them having any of our credit. If you're a smart, business savvy kind of guy, you would want to be trying to exploit that and trying to grow your own game on the back of it.
It's strange. And obviously there's no fixture altercations or anything that's going to help you, Robert, eh?
No, not at all. And I said that earlier, though, as players, I think they would rather have the games come around thick and fast so that you're keeping that momentum going rather than having to wait. And I know as much as it is good being on the training ground to prepare for a game, sometimes you just want the games to come around thick and fast to keep that momentum going, keep the adrenaline going and the excitement and the buzz. And as you get closer to the end of the season, knowing there's prizes there, you want to get there. But of course you've got to prepare yourself for it because you're going to get no help from the authorities, let's be fair.
Yeah. Haaland's no scored for 18 minutes. Fox wants to know if Haaland's better than Dessers. But I think we'll leave that one alone, Robert.
Is he feeling okay? Somebody want to check in the old Foxy boy?
Oh, Fox. Oh, Foxy boy. Right, okay.
Ox.
Yes, mate.
Just quickly, obviously, you're talking about the Europe thing. I think our manager, again, as we've touched on, because he's so involved in every aspect of tactics and preparing the team, I think that winter camp there that we were on, I think that was a big prep for the Europe turning up as well, and all these kind of rotations that's been going on. I think he's been preparing the team for these, like this. What I says, I think after tomorrow, this run in, this is what it's all been building up to. I think he's got the team in a position where they're going to be able to handle it.
Aye, well, I think the manager he loves it, and we get these 2 league games out of the way, and then he'll enjoy the challenge at Benfica. He embraces it, Robert, eh?
It does, and I said earlier as well, I'm interested to see how he approaches the game in Europe, because it is on paper, you would look at it and say that Benfica is going to be favourites, but I'm intrigued to see how he approaches it and how he lines up. Do we see a different style for Clermont because it is a tough European game, even away from home, or does he stick to what we've known since he's come in the door? And personally, I think he'll stick to what it is. We know he's been able to adapt, like you say, the game against Betis, and even going back to Prague, you'd see him playing as like a left wing back, so he knows how to adapt a game, but maybe not changing everything about the setup and style. So interesting times ahead, mate, and very, very big, 3-4 weeks for the club.
Aye, and the fans, mate. Well, it's what you want, isn't it? You know, obviously, the Champions League is where the real big dough is, and you're in there with teams that are spending billions of pounds. But we are where we are at the moment. We want to compete, and we're there. But we're flying the flag for our league, our country, and we don't get any credit for it. But first and foremost, we're flying the flag for our own team, GB.
Aye, and we've got a manager there, Rox, that is trying to push that as well. I think he's very proud to be a Rangers manager, and for what I've seen when he was with Genk and stuff like that, when he's playing in the Champions League, Genk were kind of probably a team that was written off and against these top teams, but he managed somehow to build a team that could compete against even the likes of Real Madrid and Man City and stuff like that. So, I say similar budgets, I think, Ox, between the Belgian league and us. I think, like I says, if we can help the man go as deep as we can in this European competition and reinvest in the summer, then there's nothing to say that we can back the guy and put up at least a decent challenge.
No, but that'll come about after we get them on a night out of the way. Are you starting to? The nerves must be disappearing now. You must be feeling better after having a pep talk with me and Robert.
Well, especially when you went into about the manager, how he is so, like I says, switched on, Ox, with all the tactics and stuff like that. I think the team would have learned a lesson, if you know what I mean. I think he would have maybe even showed them that game that we lost, the first game of the season, or maybe even took points from it to say, look, this is what we could have done, we're going to do better, or even analysed Kilmarnock herself to show their weak points, because he's really good at that. He's really good at picking up where they can hurt teams. And I think tomorrow, like I says, there'll be a few surprises. Even though we've picked our team, I think there might be still a couple of wee eyebrow raises tomorrow night with who he picks in this team tomorrow.
Interesting. Do you think the team he's picked will be correct, Robert?
I don't think it'll be far from it, to be honest. I know he keeps doing this rotation, which I'm a fan of, because it does keep everybody ticking over and on their toes, ready for the games that come ahead. I don't think it'll be far off what we've picked between us. But as GB says, maybe a few changes. And if he's meaning surprises, does he mean Scott Wright?
Sorry, you're breaking up there, bro. You're breaking up.
You said surprises. I've got to ask.
I'll crack the jokes.
Well, he's been involved, still managed to be involved the last 2 games, hasn't he? You know, Scott, he's had his chances, Scott. I actually think his confidence is shot, if I'm being honest. I really do. I think he's actually slightly better than what we've seen. You know, I think he's struggling. And because his decision making is poor, and that's what happens when your confidence is gone. I'm trying to be fair on him, GB.
No. And by the way, I see when you seen him coming on there at the weekend, I mean, he took a big, huge, deep breath before he ran onto that park. It was like one of them moments, like, right, I really hope I play well, and that kind of thing. The look in his face. Look, I'm one for every Rangers player to do better, Rox, and like I says, he's had chances and stuff like that. But see, when you're seeing, like, say, a right back come on and put in that kind of performance, surely that you want to come on and try and emulate that a bit as well. And it's, I says, when you're just going through the emotions and stuff like that, then I suppose your confidence would drop when you're seeing other people perform better. You know what I mean? So it's kind of one of the ones that I think he'll always be there, like any squad player, but long term, I says, he's definitely not the answer on that right side. We've now proven that we can get quality in. Our manager can spot a player, and I'm, like I says, hoping that come the summer we'll see even more quality come in this team.
When you play in a forward position, rightly or wrongly, you're judging your numbers, Robert, and his numbers are awful.
Yeah, that kind of bottom line, mate. Is a winger, you want to have a good number of assists and a decent amount of goals, particularly more probably assists depending on the kind of player you are. But if you're not getting them, then you are going to fall down that pecking order. Right. And as GB says, we've got McCausland there, we've got Sterling, we can play there, or we can go out in the market and find somebody. So I think it's only a matter of time that Scott Wright is here at the club, and obviously he's been involved in some big games for us, of course. He started a European final, and his goal confirmed a Scottish Cup for us as well. So he has his bit to play, but I don't think he'll be here beyond the summer, unfortunately. But wish him well anyway if that is the case.
Yeah. Right, so obviously Big Phil's getting all the credit, but obviously we've got Stephen van der Hevden, make sure I try and pronounce it right. Alec Ray, Brian Gilbert and Stevie Smith. It's a collective, and they all must be doing their job because something's improved by 300% if there is such a thing. GB.
I think the backroom team have been excellent, Ox. I think they've helped the manager even settle as well in the club. You can hear snippets sometimes from the manager when he's giving his interviews, how he talks about teams and stuff like that, and you can tell it's came from Alex Ray, just with the way he pronounces things and stuff like that. Even previous players turning up as managers against us and stuff like that. So you can tell that Alex Ray's kept them switched on, and I think even that Five Guys thing as well, that's probably came for the coaching team. They kept them up to date in these kind of things, that what's happening across the social media side of things. So all that kind of stuff's important, Ox. And I think as well, like sending his team out to speak to the players, try and improve them, try to even show them what it is to be a Rangers player and stuff like that. Stevie Smith as well, he's been there and seen it done with Walt Smith and all the rest of it. So again, just passing on these experiences and helping the new guys to settle. I don't think the likes of Tav and all that need any more talking to. They know what the deal is, but like I says, these new boys, for them to come in and settle. I mean, when was the last time we've had two signings come in and hit the ground running as quick as they have and score goals? It's been a long time coming for us.
Aye, they have. They've done okay, and even Silver's done okay, hasn't he? Considering he's a new player which came in with a big price tag. I mean, the guy's definitely got ability, different from anything else we've got. I imagine sometimes people find him frustrating because he'll be everywhere where he should be, bar number 9, but that's the way he plays it. He admits that, but just enjoy him. But the coaching staff, they must have helped Phil turn all this around. We've got to give him credit, Robert.
Absolutely. When Clement said it's a team effort, when he's talking about the players, it's also a team effort for him and his staff. And that goes even further than the ones you mentioned there. It's, as I said earlier, the fitness guys, the doctors, the scientists, everything in the background that we don't see in day-to-day running, they all play a part in terms of getting players prepared and in the right frame of mind and the right shape after injuries. And we know we've had our issues with them, so it is a big credit to them all. I'll even fling in Colin Stewart, the goalkeeping coach, as much as Jack Butland is experienced, he still needs to get the coaching day-to-day as well. And you actually see Colin Stewart kind of giving the instructions for the subs going on as well. So that's kind of different. You see the likes of Van der Heijden and Alex Ray kind of sitting monitoring the game, whereas Colin Stewart's giving them the kind of rundown of the instructions of on the park. So it is a big collective, and so far it's been successful. And Alex Ray probably was one that maybe when we said get a Rangers man in, not many would have maybe selected him, but it's certainly paid off, and it's been a good acquisition. And I think he's enjoying it as well.
Oh, thank you. We're living the dream. GB.
There will be. Actually, I mean, you've seen the kind of posts for the what do you call him, Van der Heijden, that he's enjoying his time in Glasgow and stuff like that. And I think our manager, credit to him, he didn't come in and bleed the club dry funds. I mean, getting his own backroom team in, he's only really brought that Van der Heijden with him, and he gave everybody an opportunity to shine, Hawks. And like I says, Alex is probably one of the ones, like I says, as Robert's touched on, that you wouldn't have really seen staying there long term. But I think, like I says, having him in the backgrounds kind of gave us that kind of Rangers feel about the team, and it's probably made Clement understand Rangers quite like the whole history and stuff like that. Because even when you hear him talk about sitting in the manager's office and stuff like that, that's again, that will all come through the coaching team as well, saying to him, this is what it's all about, this is what happened with the manager's office, this is where you go and sign the contracts and all that. So it's that, and the players, I think that's his players that can go and maybe speak tactics and stuff like that, maybe ask what's going on with certain fitness regimes as well, Hawks. See that side, see the physical side, and going to use the cryo chamber and stuff like that. That's all probably been passed on as well.
I think like any work, mate, if the environment's not right, people don't perform, and their role is to make sure. I think Gerrard used to say, Robert, no excuses, and that's what I see a similar thing for Kilmarnock's team. Set them up, give them information. Everybody knows their job. Treat them well, and then no excuses. Go out there and win the match, starting tomorrow night. Yeah.
Absolutely, mate. That is it. There is no excuse. And when you're brought to the club, whether you be a new signing or you're a player who's been there and it's a new manager coming in, it is important that you do take on these instructions and start delivering. And these players certainly have done it, and that includes the new guys that have come in January, Silva, Diamonde and Cortez. You actually see them playing with a smile on their face as well, so they know right away that they're enjoying their football. And who wouldn't at Rangers? But certainly when you're winning as well, it makes it easier. And the squad have obviously welcomed all three in because they look very intertwined with the players, and they've got good relationships as well. So that is only another factor, and that's down to Clement and the way the man management is between him, the coaching staff and the players.
Yep, right. I'll go to you first, Robert, because I might get a cheery score after you. You know him, he doesn't like being in trouble. Right, okay. How's it going to pan out tomorrow night? And use your rationale.
3-0. Nervy first 20 minutes. First goal settles us. 1-0 at half time, and then we get 2 second half. Dessers to get 1. And I'll go with Diamonde to get 3 and 3. And do John Sterling.
Right. He's not just predicting the score, he's predicting the times, he's predicting the scorers. Yeah.
Put it on. It might pay more than a Super 6.
Well, put it this way, you get more chance of it paying out than a Super 6.
Big Mano's ears will be burning.
I've used all my data up in that, man. GB.
Tomorrow, Ox, I'll go for a kind of tighter score of 2-0 Rangers. Goal scorers will definitely be, one of them will definitely be Dessers. I can see it just because of this. I think he'll love the rough and tumble up front tomorrow night. I think he's got to thrive on it. And it wouldn't surprise me if he done one of the early shooter goals. I mean, he springs up with. So I'm definitely be putting a wee bet on for Dessers to score tomorrow night. The other person to score, I don't know. I'll wait to see the team.
All right. It is amazing turnaround that people are taking Dessers to score the first goal. Yeah.
Well, do you know that Ox? Do you know the thing about him is it's probably something that frustrates us, but it's the unpredictability of him that's actually.
He's definitely that, mate. He's definitely that.
That's what's actually helping him, I think, because I don't think defenders know half the time what he's doing. I think they can't believe they get away with chances, and the next minute he pops up with a worldie.
I tell you what he is. What you think him as a player, and his touch can be dreadful at times. He's mentally tough, Robert. He keeps going.
Aye, he came out as well after we were on his back and says that he can hear it, and it did affect him, but it didn't let him get him down. He's kept his head up and he's kept going, and he's been fit as well. He's not shied away or went and binged it like previous strikers may have done when they were down in the dumps. So credit to him, he's stuck to his guns and he's now getting the goals that could be title winning come the end of the season, mate. That's as important as it is.
Aye,
But I think he will need that goal against in the Old Firm game to probably get the duck off his back finally. That's probably the only thing that will hold him a wee bit. If he gets that, then again, it could be a title-winning goal, mate.
Aye, mental, innit? Mental. Well, let's put it this way: if he scores 7 goals in the next 8 games, and other people are chipping in as well in the 8 games, we're going to be in a good place, Robert. Huh?
Very good place, mate. As I said, it's points now to end the season. Every game now becomes a cup final almost because it is that tight. And until you extend your lead, you can't take the foot off the gas. You've just got to look ahead. You can't look behind.
No. You've just got to win the games. 3 points is all that matters, GB.
Aye, Ox. I mean, Christ, as much as I know enjoy it, I'll take a bridge man tomorrow night. I mean, just to get the 3 points on the board and move on and get away from that horrible park. I think even our manager would take it. I mean, it's in one game. You think about it, Dessler scored that goal and we've seen it the 1-0 result, Ox. So like I says, we've shown resilience. There's like I says, there's no fears that side of it. It just like I says, it's just like I says, Kilmarnock seem to have these guys that seem to put in their best performances against us, and like I says, I'm sure we'll be able to handle it tomorrow.
All right. Last word for your good selves, Robert.
Yeah, been a good discussion tonight, mate. Looking forward to the game tomorrow night, and as you said, 3 points most important, and we're getting to the end of the show, and it does sound like GB sounds a bit more positive, so we've done well tonight.
Oh, mate, I'm disappointed in him. GB.
I'll be away to practice that on top thing you're talking about. No.
If you want, we'll play another tune, then you can come back in with your comments.
Forgetting it's getting that tight. No, fantastic show. And like I says, it's good to get the points across, and good chat about the manager, how much he's turned this club around and how much he's got the bug for Glasgow Rangers, and long may this man stay at Rangers for a long, long time to come. And like I says, hopefully tomorrow his players go out and reward him with 3 points, and we march on to this, like I says, this title race.
Yep. Robert?
Absolutely, mate. 3 points in the bag, up the road, and march on.
Yeah. Listen, thanks to Brian who phoned us earlier on, and of course Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals in the background. But without them, we don't have a show. Thanks to everybody for listening. We'll be back tomorrow night. It's 6:45. We have a pre-match show. We build up to the game tomorrow away at Kilmarnock and a Rangers victory. Thanks to Robert and GB for doing the show. Enjoy your evening, especially you, GB. And as I say, Rangers Radio will be back tomorrow night, 6:45 with a pre-match show. Thanks for listening. Take it away, Foxy. Bye.